People still talk about the morning her life changed. The morning a silent black car pulled up beside my small breakfast stall, 4 bodyguards stepped out, and a woman I thought was homeless walked toward me dressed like someone who owned half the city. And when she removed her sunglasses, her voice broke as she said, "I need to talk to you, and thank you, for saving me." That was the day I realized the truth. Nothing we give ever goes unnoticed. Some kindnesses return in ways we can never imagine. Every morning before the sun rose above the city, I pushed open the shutters of my tiny Tiamparatha stall. As a single dad, life had turned me into both mother and father, both provider and dreamer. My 7-year-old son, Ayan, usually sat on a stool beside me, wrapping napkins or counting spoons like it was the most important job in the world. We didn't have much, but we had love, and that was enough. On a cold Monday morning, I first saw her. Thin, trembling, wrapped in an oversized gray shawl, she stood near the curb, staring at nothing. Her hair was messy, her eyes swollen, and she looked like someone who had cried long before dawn. She didn't ask for food, didn't reach for charity, she simply stood there, as if warming herself with the faint hope that the day wouldn't break her like the ones before. Ayan tugged my sleeve. "Baba, she's hungry." And just like that, a child reminded me of the world we adults forget to see. I walked over and offered her a hot cup of chai and a fresh paratha. She hesitated, eyes shifting with guilt, like accepting food was a crime. "It's okay," I said gently. "Eat. No one should start their morning with an empty stomach." Her lips trembled as she whispered, barely audible, "Thank you. I just need a little time. I'll repay you." But I wasn't expecting anything. She looked fragile, like a bird that had fallen out of the sky, wings broken but still breathing. I just nodded and walked back to my stall. The next morning, she returned. And the next. And the next. Every day at 6:15 a.m., she quietly sat on the edge of the stall while I prepared her breakfast, chai with a little extra sugar and 2 parathas. She ate in silence, but I noticed the small changes. Her shoulders weren't shaking anymore, her eyes began to settle, and she sometimes looked at Ayan with a softness that made me wonder what she had gone through. But she never told me. And I never asked. Still, I noticed she wore the same clothes every day. Same shawl. Same shoes. Same empty eyes. One rainy morning, she softly said, "My name, it's Zara." I smiled. "I'm Haris. And that commander over there is my son." Ayan giggled and gave her a tiny salute. Zara laughed, a small, broken sound, but it was the first time I heard life in her voice. Days turned into weeks. The city woke, slept, fought, and prayed around us, but Zara became part of our mornings, quiet, polite, grateful. She always tried to pay with coins she'd gathered, but they were barely enough for 1 cup of tea. I pretended not to notice and slipped the coins back to her when she wasn't looking. Some mornings, she seemed scared. Some mornings, she seemed relieved. But one thing never changed, she always left before 7 a.m., disappearing into the streets like she didn't want to be seen. One day, Ayan asked, "Baba, where does she go?" I sighed. "Maybe somewhere she wishes she didn't have to." He nodded, as if he understood more than a 7-year-old should. And then, everything changed. It was a Friday. The air was crisp, the city unusually silent. Ayan was humming while buttering parathas, and I kept glancing at the road, waiting for Zara to appear. 6 a.m. 6:10. 6:15. 6:20. Nothing. A strange heaviness settled in my chest. What if something happened to her? What if she was sick? What if the shadows she carried finally caught up to her? I tried to shake the worry away. Not everyone could explain their storms, some just survived them quietly. But then, at exactly 6:27 a.m., the sound of engines approached. A sleek black SUV halted in front of my stall. Then another. And another. Before I could process what was happening, four massive bodyguards stepped out. Dressed in black suits, earpieces glinting in the early morning light. They scanned the area like they were expecting danger. People around us stopped eating, stopped talking, stopped breathing. Ayan grabbed my hand. "Baba, are they here to shut our stall?" I didn't know. The back door of the first SUV opened. A woman stepped out. But not the woman I was used to. This Zara was different. Her hair neatly tied, her posture straight, her clothes elegant but simple. She looked like someone who carried power without needing to show it. Yet when she looked at me, her eyes were filled with something raw, something familiar. She walked toward us slowly, almost unsure, and the guards followed her like shadows. Ayan hid behind me. My heart pounded. Zara stopped a few steps away from the stall and whispered, voice trembling. "Please, don't be afraid. I need to talk to you." Her lawyers stepped out next, holding folders and documents. One of them greeted me formally, which only made everything feel even stranger. I didn't move. I didn't blink. Zara removed her sunglasses. Her eyes, no longer empty, but filled with gratitude, and a pain she was finally ready to let go of. "Horace," she said, voice cracking, "you helped me every morning without knowing who I was, without asking anything in return. I wasn't homeless. I was hiding. Against lawyers, courts, people who wanted to take everything from me." I stared at her, confused. "What do you mean?" She took a deep breath, tears forming. "I didn't disappear because I wanted to. I disappeared because someone tried to destroy my life, and your kindness kept me alive long enough to fight back. These lawyers, they're here because I finally won." She stepped closer. "And now, I'm here to give you something back, something that will change your and Ayan's life forever." My breath stopped. Ayan peeked at her with wide eyes. The city around us seemed to freeze. Zara smiled softly through her tears. "You showed me humanity when the world showed me cruelty. Today, it's my turn." And as the sun finally rose behind her, I understood. This wasn't the end. This was the beginning of the story none of us saw coming.